Welcome to Gregor Mortis's Little World of Horror. This is my Slash from the Stash movie review. After a couple week hiatus, I am back and very excited to be back with you, the viewers. And thanks to everyone that's been tuning in each episode. Like I said, I did take a couple weeks off for Halloween and getting things together for that. So very excited. I was going to do a certain movie, but I've held back on that one. And I want to review another Scream Factory title, kind of keeping with my theme. The last few episodes I've been doing a lot of Scream Factory, so absolutely love them. I think the whole company, Shout Factory, and especially Scream Factory, the horror side of Shout Factory, I think they do just a stellar job, always knocking it out of the park with their Blu-ray, DVD releases. So this episode, I'm definitely going to be looking at one I picked up last year, and I've seen this one 3 times now, maybe even 4. I'm thinking maybe 4. But anyways, I've watched it a few times, but I just watched it a day or so ago and thought I'd really want to go ahead and do a movie review on this one. And it's none other than the Scream Factory release of John Carpenter's Body Bags. And I absolutely love this whole movie from start to finish. This is basically a anthology style film that has 3 movies in one, and then you got kind of a segment in between each one of them, which is kind of cool, so I'll get into that. But I did want to show once again the artwork. There you go for Body Bags. And I just absolutely think that artwork right there is just out of this world. Tagline, zip it, or zip yourself in tight is the tagline, but I just absolutely love it. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo, and like I said, I've had this for over a year now, and I've watched it quite a few times. All like Scream Factory releases, they have these slipcover cases, or most of them have the slipcover case, but this is the artwork that was on the reverse side of the Blu-ray DVD. Some screen caption shots of the movies in themselves, and I got a little glare. I've changed my camera angle around a little bit to try to kind of get to where I can see my notes up front. But as you open it up, you got your Blu-ray here, and then your DVD there, the exact same artwork that's on the commissioned art of the cover, and then you got the commissioned artwork there. So I went ahead, like I do with all my Scream Factory releases, I go ahead and flip them, the covers, so I have what's somewhat of an original there, once again, and then you got the commissioned artwork. So I just like doing that. You don't have to do that. It's nothing that you have to, but I'm glad that Scream Factory gives us that option to do. But what I'll do is go ahead and break into this movie review. Once again, this is John Carpenter and also his wife, Sandra King. Now, basically, Body Bags was released in 1993, and it was set to be a pilot for a TV series for Showtime. And some things happened. It could have happened. It very well could have become a series kind of like Tales from the Crypt. But due to the fact that, according to the documentaries that's on here, John Carpenter and his wife and the crew, basically Showtime wanted to move it up to Canada because of money. It's a lot cheaper at the time to shoot in Canada, so they wanted to film it there. And, you know, there was those money crunch things, and John Carpenter and his wife spoke, and they weren't feeling it, you know. Why would they? I mean, John Carpenter in '93 had already made, you know, so many great hits, and this was just going to be something he was doing sort of for fun. So, I mean, why would he want to tie himself down to having to go to Canada and film and all this stuff? So, unfortunately, all you get is Body Bags. This one, I would have loved to have seen this had become a regular series on Showtime and had seen numerous, kind of like Tales from the Crypt. But anyways, that's it. But basically, Body Bags starts out with a segment, and it's the morgue. And John Carpenter is so freaking creepy. I'm going to try to see if you can see it. Right here, there you go. John Carpenter, he's basically looks like a doctor in this morgue, or, you know, whatever. And he's he's hilarious. And in the bonus features on this, if you watch the documentaries and kind of behind the scenes kind of deal, John talks about it. He basically took his persona kind of from like Beetlejuice. Wanted it to be snappy, quick paced, and just one-liners. And I just love the segments when John Carpenter's in makeup. He had mentioned that it took Rick Baker basically about 3 hours a morning to do his makeup and hair and then get him into role. But this is amazing, and love it because it's comedic. He's down in the morgue, he's got these bodies, and he is just giving out one-liners out the yin-yang, and I love that about it. But basically what happens is he introduces each segment much like the Crypt Keeper and all that. So the first segment we get is a segment called The Gas Station. And oh my God, this is like so amazing of an episode. It's kind of the slasher of the series. There's 3 different ones, as I mentioned earlier. There's 3 different short stories. You got kind of a slasher, then you got kind of a comedic one, and then you've got a real disturbing one. Now, John Carpenter directed the first segment called The Gas Station, and it does star Robert Carradine, who you know from, of course, Revenge of the Nerds and a lot of other movies. A tremendous, tremendous actor, man. But he was always stereotyped as a comedian. And not to spoil anything, he's definitely got a much deeper role in this one, and I loved it. You also have Alex Datcher, who plays Anne, and Peter Jason, who plays a gentleman that comes in. Basically, let me do it this way. You got a woman that comes into work. It's her first night to work at this gas station out in the middle of nowhere. And Robert Carradine is kind of the guy that's working before her, and she's kind of taking the shift over. And she has a little interaction with Robert, and then he leaves, his character. And she's there alone. While he's gone and she's working, of course, people are coming in getting gas. And this is where these characters start popping up. You've got, of course, Peter Jason and Molly Cheek. You got Wes Craven comes in and has a part in this one. He plays a tremendous character. I thought he'd done an awesome job. You've also got Sam Raimi's in this segment, the one that directed, of course, Evil Dead and Amazing Spider-Man and all these different ones, but Sam Raimi's in it. David Naughton from American Werewolf in London's in this segment. George Buckflower plays a homeless drunk, and George is in like every one of John Carpenter's films, and I just love that about it. And also you got Lucy Boyer, Roger Rooks is also, he plays a TV anchorman, which I'll get in that in a second. But basically what happens is she's working, these individuals will come up one at a time and they're getting gas, and there's some scary things taking place, and needless to say, it gets really down and dirty, and there's some tense moments, some kills, and some different things. So this is like the slasher segment of it, and it is called The Gas Station, and I loved every second of that one. It's definitely, for me, my favorite of the 3 stories, but that's not taking nothing away from the other 2, but the freaking Gas Station, man, is just, to me, amazing. And like I said, just to see the characters like Wes Craven and David Naughton and different ones that I grew up watching, and then seeing them in this style movie, I thought was awesome. And I thought the direction, John Carpenter had done some really cool things. Basically, he took this gas station out in the middle of nowhere, and it's pitch black. And it's also mentioned in the bonus feature on here how that basically he wet the ground constantly, the pavement, to make it glisten, so the lights from the cameras and everything that they use would make the whole street just glisten like glass. And I love that. It just lit it so well. And once again, all the characters, man, just done such a tremendous job with their acting abilities. Such a strong story, and I would have loved to seen this one become a full-length feature. It'd be kind of hard because of the storyline, but still, I would have had fun watching this in an hour and 20-minute movie. Instead, you get about a 15-20-minute one or so. Maybe a little bit longer, I'm not sure. It's 91 minutes long total, so it's probably 15-20 minutes long. But anyways, it does have so many great characters in this one, and it's really played well. Now, on the Scream Factory, you get audio commentary on this one by John Carpenter and Robert Carradine, and I've not got to listen to that one yet, or actually any of the commentaries, unfortunately, but I really want to sit down and listen to it because, of course, Robert Carradine and John Carpenter, so iconic in their fields, and John has nothing but the utmost respect for Robert Carradine and vice versa, so I'd really love to hear them sit down and talk about this gas station episode. But it's really cool. And I do want to mention before I get into the second one that Justin Beam, my good buddy Justin Beam, worked on this release, man. I mean, he spearheaded it and done all the bonus features and everything. Justin Beam knocked it out of the park. And when I'm talking about the documentary, it's basically called the Unzipping Body Bags featurette, and it's got John Carpenter and Sandy King and Stacy Keach and Robert Carradine. And Justin done that, and I just knocked it out of the park. I've watched it more times than I've watched the movie, so great job to Justin and the crew. But anyways, then after the segment for the gas station goes off, we go into another skit with John Carpenter as the mortician, and he's got some more one-liners, and it's really cool because he's got long hair, and the next episode's called Hair, and I really enjoyed this one as well. Now, Hair has a few characters that you might recognize right offhand. One of them in particular is Stacy Keach. Now, I love Stacy Keach. He's a tremendous actor. He was in like Escape from L.A. and different ones with John Carpenter, so he's had some history with him, and he does a great job in this one. You got Sheena Easton. You also have Dan Blum, Attilia, and Kim Alexis. You got Greg Nicotero, who plays a kind of a cameo. You just get to see him walking with his hair and all this. You got Deborah Harry, aka Blondie. You got Twiggy, or I'm sorry, not Twiggy, but you got Deborah Harry, Greg Nicotero, Kim Alexis, Attilia, Dan Blum, Sheena Easton, David Warner, Stacy Keach. So there you go. That's your Hair. And very, very strong episode. But this is definitely, like I said earlier, this is the comedic episode here. You got a lot of comedy in this one, which I liked. The story is that Stacy Keach is, balding. He doesn't have a lot of hair. And this one was directed by John Carpenter as well. But he doesn't have a lot of hair. He's got this girl that he's dating. And she doesn't have a problem, but he's kind of self-conscious about it. And he's tried a lot of different things to try to make his hair grow, or, he's tried to do different things to make it look like he's got hair. Well, he ends up hearing seeing a commercial or hearing a commercial about this new technology that grows hair. So he goes, and that introduces you to Deborah Harry and also Dan Blum. And they have this formula, this freaking pill that he takes, and it causes his hair to grow. Well, at first it does a really good job. He wakes up after he's got a head wrap on. All of a sudden he's got a little bit of hair. Well, as time flies, he starts growing hair more, and it's to the point where it's like down to his kneecaps. He's got hair growing out of his face. He's got hair everywhere. He's pitted. He's getting sick, the whole 9 yards. And little does he know, this is an experiment on him that goes bad, and basically these hairs are almost like little snake-like worms or something that bite, and this is all kinds of creepiness, man. So this one is fun, it's entertaining, it's got some really cool effects, and all the effects were done by pretty much the K&B boys, which is Robert Kurtzman and Greg Nicotero and the boys, and they've done a tremendous job on this one with the face. They're able to make him sort of go normal to where he's got this long hair, and where the hair is starting to come through his face and through pits and different things, and I just thought they've done a tremendous job. There is some little hokey CGI going on that doesn't hold up today, I will say that, but still overall I thought it went really well, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought it was really fun, and Stacy Keach is just such a tremendous actor, and Sheena Easton, wow, what do you say? I mean, just awesome. So, the second segment, really, really strong. John Carpenter, tremendous job. On Scream Factory release here, you also have an audio commentary on this one with John Carpenter and actor Stacy Keach that I haven't listened to, but I definitely want to listen to that one. So that's your second segment. Now we go into the last segment, And the final, well, you go into the little segment with John Carpenter again as he does his little thing. And I keep looking down because I'm having to move my notes, so apologize about that. But yeah, then we go into our little segment with John Carpenter, and this one, he's funny, he's doing his one-liners again, he introduces the third one, and the third installment is called I. Like the I, E-Y-E. And this one was not directed by John Carpenter. This one was actually directed by Tobe Hooper. And Tobe Hooper didn't really want to direct this one, but John brought him in, and he knew right off the bat I wanted him to do the I. Now, the I is the most disturbing and darkest of the series of 3 movies here. This one goes places that John said he knew Tobe could go. I mean, from his career as doing Eaten Alive and Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist and all these different things. I mean, Tobe Hooper can take you to dark horror elements, and the Eye does that. Now, the Eye stars different characters, but one in particular is Mark Hamill. He plays Brent Matthews, the main character. And basically, Mark Hamill's character, he's a famous baseball player that ends up having a car accident, and he gets his eye destroyed, and they have to put another eye in, and he has an eye transplant. Well, this one also has Kathy Matthews, played by Twiggy. You got John Agar, who plays Dr. Lang. Roger Corman has a little cameo in here. Charles Napier, Eddie Velez, Betty Mermato, B.B. Drake, Sean McClory, Robert Louis Bush, and Gregor Alpert. And also you got Martine LeBlanc playing Zombie Kathy. So there you go. So this one basically follows the story of Mark Hamill and Twiggy. They're a married couple, Brent and Kathy Matthews, and they seem to have a normal life until the eye surgery. Now, once Mark Hamill has this eye surgery, it seems okay, but he starts seeing things. He starts seeing, like, behind his house in the backyard, he sees like this dead woman coming out of the grave, or there's moments where he sees this woman, you know, that's he's basically killing somebody. So he keeps seeing these different visions, and he doesn't understand what's going on. But every time he starts seeing these visions, of course, it's disturbing him. He's becoming more violent, and he doesn't know how to handle it. And his wife is worried. I mean, she's obviously distraught because her husband's not acting the same. So she, is trying to help him. But it comes, to make a long story short, he comes to find out that his eye transplant was from a gentleman that was executed for murder, and he's basically seeing through the eye of a serial killer. And that just took it over the edge. I mean, this one's got nudity, it's got everything in it, and it's dark, it's disturbing, it's scary, it's creepy. I love it. Tobe Hooper done a tremendous job as always, and I absolutely love the Eye. If I had to rank them, it would be The Gas Station, just because I am a slasher fan, but then I would go to the Eye, and then I would go to Hair as my third one, just because it had a little bit more comedic side to it. But such a tremendous one. Bonus feature on it, you get audio commentary with producer Sandy King, which is John Carpenter's wife. And also, let's see, you got audio commentary with producer Sandy King and also Justin Beam on the Eye. So I definitely want to hear that and hear Justin with Sandy and get their take on that one. So all three of these strong. And then what happens at the end of this segment, you're introduced to John Carpenter again, and it's wrapping up. It's the end of the episode, the movie. And it's kind of cool because you're introduced now to Tom Arnold comes out, and also Tobe Hooper himself, and they got a cool cameo appearance. So all of this movie from start to finish is so freaking amazing. There's the spine of it. Once again, the back. There you go. Mark Hamill right here with his character Stacy Keach, and then you got John Carpenter there. Such an amazing, amazing, amazing film. If you don't own this, please go out, search it out. It was released in 2013. You can definitely get your hands on it through Screen Factory or Amazon or wherever you buy it, and get it at a real reasonable rate. So definitely recommend it. It's a double thumbs up purchase. Everything about this was perfect. So this is my Slash from the Stash. It's Sunday, November 9th. If you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. Comment below here. share the video, and send me some recommendations of some movies that you want me to review, and I'll try to do that. There again, I always review the movies that I own physically, so keep that in mind. So stay tuned for that, and definitely if you haven't checked out Land of the Creeps podcast, check us out. We're up to 86, fixing to come out Tuesday, or this Tuesday, which will be November 10th. So it'll be November 11th. Episode 86 of Land of the Creeps will be out, so you don't want to miss that. So with that, this is Greg Mortis. This is my little world of horror, my different view. If you like this angle, I might try to keep this going. I don't know. I'm always switching shit up. But anyways, thumbs up, man. Thank you for tuning in. Greg Mortis signing out till next week. This is my Slash from the Stash. Peace.